Hi, Lisa Donner here at Liberty Nation, and I am here today with author Jeff Charles, who wrote a very interesting article called The Appalling Press Coverage of the Alexandria Shooting.
Appalling was actually a bit of an understatement, but it was pretty bad. Now, to be fair, not all the news outlets were guilty of misconduct and bias when it comes to these events, but the ones who were really bad.
Outline for us who was the most egregious in their coverage of this tragedy.
Really, the two that knocked it out of the park, no pun intended, were MSNBC and CNN. They released an article entitled "Who is Steve Scalise?" So one is going to click on that thinking they'll just learn about one of the victims of the attack, which they start out fine, but it's CNN, so they can't help themselves. They have to bring up this supposed event where Steve Scalise spoke to a group of white nationalists, which didn't really happen, but I'll get into that in a second. MSNBC's Joy Reid, in a tweet and even on her show, brought up his political opinions and the things that he's voted for. Meanwhile, Steve Scalise is fighting for his life in the hospital.
So, Jeff, I'm interested. You said that Steve Scalise, or they said that Steve Scalise met with white nationalists. Now, is this true or is this fake news?
It is fake news. It is a bunch of press covfefe. In 2002, Steve Scalise was giving a speech in Louisiana. He was giving a presentation to a civic group. So the idea was that he was supposed to be somehow tied to David Duke. The way this event came about was it was organized by a man named Kenny Knight, who was a former aide of David Duke. That's where the connection to David Duke ends. And the conference was about emergency preparedness. So the way CNN reported it, they left out the part where he didn't actually address a group of white nationalists. He had no idea who these people were. He didn't even know that they were in the audience. And it's not like they have a guy at the door saying, "Are you a white nationalist? Okay, you can't come in." No, they're not checking for that. He's not going to know. He doesn't want you to know that because he's a Republican and they would need to push the Republican equals racist narrative.
Thanks so much for your time today, Jeff Charles. Read more of his wonderful articles right here on Liberty Nation. I'm Lisa Donner, and this is LNTV.